Hey people, this is part 2 in these false prophets. I'm going to get down here to this definition of Lucifer. So in ancient times, back before cell phones, when somebody went to the potty, before they made these stalls here, it was just a hole, and you had a board that would cover it. It was called the potty top. It didn't have a hinge on it. You would pick it up and hold it in front of you. And if you was a schoolboy, you probably wrote something on it. You didn't have stall walls to write on. And even if you weren't a schoolboy, you usually had a shit stick in your hand. And it'll surprise you that a huge chunk of the Bible came off of bathroom walls. It's where a lot of the wittiest knowledge come from. And this is a short one right here. And so I showed in that last movie, how they've twisted words throughout the times. And this one, they didn't even twist. You see it says not, it's A-L, all with a tack. And here it's la, low with it. Let's say it's not, low. And both of these words, sometimes they say they mean God, sometimes they just mean things. But you can see that this word A-L with, a hyphen A-L and a tack, they say 570 times that it means no. And it's word number 408. And then word number 409, they put it in a different category, but it's the same. It's the hyphen A-L and a tack. But word number 410 is the exact same word, and they say it means God. And it'll come up many more times. It's the A-L without the tack. They say it means God. And I haven't got it nailed down yet, but L in la is feminine and masculine in Spanish. And I believe it has something to do with that. But it starts with the A, so it reads backwards anyway, and it's still L-A. And la, or low up. Potty top. Backwards and forwards after this tack. A pot, P-T-H. This is the tet as in to collect. The P is the open, to collect, the pot. And this is the T for writings. The mark, the seal, and the top too. Low a potty top. And so this Vav is the W, and this is I-T-Y, witty. The witty pun. And so for thousands of years they've been writing witty puns low a potty top under the toilet lid. The writings looked more like this, but people that knew how to read could understand. But it's where your word lead come from. The P is the open, or the P, and the B means in. And so they would write above the toilet the PB. It means PN. And all your plumbing, come from lead, and that's why PB is lead. And plumbing is where that word come from, to PN. And this knowledge destroys all the history and science they tell us, because the P was the ancient number 80, many thousands of years ago, 80. And the B was the number 2. It adds up to 82, to PN. It's the number of lead, PB, 82. Chemical symbol of PB, atomic number 82. And it gets this atomic number from adding up all the electrons in each shell. 32 and 18 are 50. And 68, 70, 82. And they knew this long before an electron microscope. It's where your word plumb come from, meaning lead. Ancient French, from the old French, way before the electron microscope. The plumb meant lead, 82. And so this word for so they shall prophecy and do prattle, it's real similar to the same word, except this one has a T in here to let you know that it's the writings, the seal. Lo a pot T, top, 2. The lower party top, the W-I-T-Y, the witty pun, P-U-N. Lower potty top of witty pun. He went to sit down and take a shit. He picked up the cover and looked on the bottom of it, and this is what he read. And so this one reads backwards and forwards too, and it's still the same thing. L-A, low. And lower potty, P-T-Y, it signified the writings here, and here it's just talking about the potty top. It's not signifying the writings, but low, a pot, P-T-Y, and then top. Tet means to collect, and the P means open, to collect the open, to close up the sack, to close up the bottle, to put a top on it. So low, under a potty top, to lowly lay siege, claim what? He's claiming his area, the lowly, and to lay siege. And this lay siege, is to lay siege on an army, to lay siege on a city, to take it. But it's also where your word vestige and message all come from this. The S, the secrets, the support, the lift, the secret lift, to make the secret lift. And so it's a witty pun. All these words, have several meanings. To claim what is to cull. If you pour out a bag of M&Ms and you cull out all the red ones, or I lay claim, to cull from what, to claim what. And so he's claiming that territory under that potty top, underneath that toilet seat. He's the lowly lay siege, claim what. And here he's signing his pen name, the amor, the love. Amor is love all the way across the med. The amor, the love in it, and then backwards and forwards be info, Q-O, info, J-O-Q-B, the info joking, the love in it, info joking, the fixer, and that's what he's calling himself, the love in it, info joking, the fixer, rue you. Roux is to awaken you. To cook up a roux, you throw your onions and bell pepper and garlic in a skillet and you warm them up to awaken the flavors, to roux. And the love in it, info joking, the fixer, rue you. And then M-A, it's after this is backwards, forwards. M means from power, but backwards and forwards is M-A-E, May, lowly, Molly, to the loo. Molly, to the loo is on your way to the bathroom, the loo. And this word, Allah, sometimes they pronounce it Allah and say it means to take. And sometimes they pronounce it Alo and they say it means swearing, but it's still the same, A-L-E. And sometimes they pronounce it Allah and they say it means an oath, swearing, adoration. Or sometimes curses, cursing. And sometimes they pronounce the same A-L-E as Allah and they say it means oak. And sometimes it was oh holy Bama's chief Allah, A-L-E. But it's the base word for God. A-L-E is God, and it's in the biggest majority of the words they say mean God will have this A-L-E base word in them. But a huge amount of time, it's just, they say it just means this or these. In the beginning was the word, and so it makes me think this is where your word alphabet come from. And it was these picture languages, the Allah. In the beginning was the word, and the word was Allah. And so what I'm saying is, voila, them Jews have no idea how to read this. They just make it all up as they going along. The hammer in it, info joking, the fixer-roo you. From the lowly Molly to the loo, devery jitty view as the jesser the walk. And so from the lowly Molly to, and so Molly, Molly, Molly is said to mean the star of the sea, like a starfish, and most of them have 5 legs. But also said to mean the sea of bitterness, the drop of the sea, star of the sea, rebelliousness. And these are words that they used in the lines that came before this movie I did yesterday. To those who devise iniquity and lament with lamentation bitter. In the Hebrew, English, or Greek, they say possibly meaning rebellious. But going further back to ancient Egypt origins, meaning love, or marry, beloved. And so it'd take a lot of study around that word to figure out, you see it's one of the words that they've tried to change. But in the Hindi they say it means top, or head, or crown. But best chances are it means free. Comes from this word in kids' game, ollie ollie, oxen free, used in children's games such as hide and seek to indicate that the players who are hiding can come out to the open without losing the game. It means a free time. The position of the sides in a game has changed. Ollie ollie, oxen free. Everybody come out. We're changing teams. And that's why they would say it means rebellious, because anybody that wants to be free, well, they're rebellious. You got to have rebellion before you're free. And so the love in it, info joking, the fixer, awaken you from the lowly, from free to the loo. Skip to the loo. You're going to the bathroom, doing that funny walk because you got to go real bad. And awaken you from the lowly, from free to the loo. And then dever, the lewd dever, the lewd very, to the lewd very jitty view as the jasher the walk. From the lowly, from free to the lewd very jitty. Jitty is a narrow pedestrian passageway. From Holly to the loo, through very jitty view, as the jasser the walk. As this is Jasher. It talks about the New Testament, the book of Jasher, the upright, and they, E-Y, is they, sir. But it's also a hard on, it's upright, as the Jasher the walk. And you can see they got it right here, E, the, and then W-L-K, the walk. They very seldom get that word right. What from will homie lavi in? Lavi means to wash, L-A-V-Y, and then B is in, lavi in. A laver is a basin or similar container used for washing oneself. Latin, French, Spanish, and even some English people still call it a lavatory. And so what from will homie lavi in, to wash in, if fumes from 'em will soul 'em. And so if fumes, is, when you're running out of gas, there's nothing but fumes there. You didn't refill the pot of water after you use it. And what would he wash in? If fumes from 'em will, M-M, from them will. From 'em will soul 'em alone. Read the magnificence, backwards, R-D-A, first through knowledge. The head through knowledge is to read the magnificence tops it when. The magnificence tops it when. To read tops it when. And then from over is. You know, the read that tops it when. Read the other side. From over is both. In text, collect. You know, both. In collect, divide. You know, to get both sides. From over is both. Subby. Sub is under. And it comes from S, the fires, connect in. And if you set something on fire, you know, the fire always goes up. But they're connected to what's under, sub. And that's where that word comes from. To under, make. From alchemy. From alchemy is the war. That's the biggest subject of your Bible, is about wars. Every time it's talking about a war, it's talking about mixing alchemy. And it's not just chemicals. But yeah, they were collecting the water and the shit in the pot, and they were cooking alchemy out of it. But alchemy is also what we're doing with these words right here. All of these writings come from alchemists. And all these letters had associations with chemicals, and they knew how everything fit. And that's what really blows my mind, is how they fit everything together. And how I'm able to read this today because of the job they did to fit the words together in this ancient English. Nosy, homie. Togression from in it, tonnage. You know, nosy isn't women. It's just anybody that's nosy. They wants to know. They're nosy. And homie, you know, your homie, your people, the nosy one. Togression. And so gression is a movement. To regression is to move backwards. And progression is to move forwards. And so togression is just a movement. Your bowel movement. Nosy homie togression. You know, want to know about your movement. From in it, tonnage. How big was it? And yeah, a lot of people, I know my brother was telling me one time that him and his kids got Snapchat, and most of their pictures would be pictures of their movements, because it would disappear after 3 seconds. And they would send each other pictures of their turds. But yeah, the nosy homie to the aggression from in it. How to the movement from in it. Tonnage. Tongie. The tonnage. How huge was it? How much did it weigh? From all. M is from, and this is OL, all. From all free. Ollie. From all free. And then take who. From all Ollie take who. Edry. And Edry doesn't mean my glory. It means it comes from the name Edric or Edril. And it means rich and powerful. So nosy homie, it doesn't mean women. It seems to mean recycler. You know, the homie, the guy who does the recycling. The N is the cycle. S to consume. Yod to work. And they were recycling everything. And so the recycling homie, to aggression, to the movement, to ones that's moving it, from in it tonnage, from all Holly take who, from all of the free take who, the rich of owls. Owls means old and wise, and that's whose picture used to be on the money. And they still run things today. And if you look real close up in this dollar bill, you'll see an owl in a nest. Little owl nested up here. And those owls, they've been running things for a long time. They had their head on their money a long time ago. The old and wise owls. O Edril Owl, the rich old owl. Come and walk to give low to that. You know, low is the scoop. Hey, what's the scoop on that? Give me the down low. You know, the bind knowledge. And to come and walk to give low to that. To that, backwards and forwards. T-O-Z-A-T. To that, them knew he above her. You know, them knew he above her, above where. Them itable. You know, what's on their table. You know, THM, them knowledge, them knowledge etable. You know, whoever's toting off your shit, they know what you're eating. Or the knowledge of edibles, what you're eating. Which veil in March. And so which veil is the skin. You know, which villain marks. Which villain marks. M-A-M-R-X, marks. Which the villain marks. And to come and walk to give low, to give the knowledge of, to that them knew he above her, above where, them edible, what they were eating, which villain marks. You know, which veil is the skin, which skin in marks. And then Lu, L-U, and then backwards and forwards, S-I-A. Lucia, you know, Lucia is the light, or L-U is it. You know, it, see, the light. It, see, is the liquor. You know, the light is the liquor. The knowledge of what they were eating is the liquor, which, W-H, is, you know, to divide or connect the divided. The liquor which to suffer. You know, the light is the liquor which to suffer. The knowledge they were making from digging through people's shit was, you know, the liquor which to suffer. And that's where you word Lu, see the light to suffer. Lucifer. If a man and false is not right, you know, Lu, it's see, you know, the light, the knowledge it makes, the loose to suffer. You know, the more you know, the more you don't want to know. The Lucy is the liquor which to suffer keys in, KZB, to give tool in, to give the tool in. It's the knowledge. Lucifer is the knowledge to gives the tool in. And then backwards, pot. The pot likely in will scar. The pot likely in will scar. Vey is to look over, you know, to Vav connected E-Y-E-I. To eye, you know, when you weigh something up, you don't have scales, you just eyeball it. Or to look over, to survey. You know, it means to look over, the vey, what you're seeing. The vey from tip. And so this is tip as in to tip over the pot and not, you know, the tip of your finger, because it's to collect and then yod to make open. And if you're going to, you know, collect to make open, you're going to tip it over to pour out of a bottle from the tip. From the tip, the tears, the eye waters. It's the tears of the people, up the pyramid. From tip those, the tears, easy. And this is the word when it says, and he sprinkled the blood, that's sprinkled, ease. So this is one of my first thoughts about this. When I was a kid, my mom was telling me about the dietary requirements, and don't eat shellfish and don't eat pork and all these things. And I thought that was so crazy. It's like, yeah, if I was the king and I told him that I talked to God and God told me don't eat all of my favorite foods, and that way there would be more left for me. Hey, when you butcher your cow, you put all the fatty parts over here on this altar for God. And y'all go ahead and eat that tough gristle and put all the fatty parts that God don't want you to eat over here. And yeah, all them crabs y'all catch out there with y'all fishing, yeah, y'all got to bring them over to this altar for God. And what it does is it keeps the price low. Hey, if nobody's eating it, if God said don't eat it, can't nobody eat it, then the price stays low. And that's the Lucy, the light maid is the liquor which to suffer. The light maid is the liquor which to suffer, to give the tool in, the keys in pot. Likely in will scar the vey to see over from tip those ease. And once you got all the knowledge, if you're carrying off the shit from the king, from the priest, you can look in his shit just like in an owl turd. They sell these old owl turds, they high $1. But yeah, you dig through an owl turd, you see exactly what he's been eating. If the owl been holding up to what he said, you could see the fat floating. And it was just like Hagar getting all the information on the priest to find out, they weren't doing as they were saying. And so with this light that you make from the Grecian of the tonnage for free, they give it away for free, and you use this knowledge to easily ease from tip the tears. You go from the bottom tier way up to the second tier real quick if you got information on the priests that haven't been holding up to what they say. So I'll read over all this, and when I do this next one, Remnant of Israel from 12 to, it's real short, and I'll start by reading over all this real quick and put it together in one quick little rhyme here, the way it was meant to be read by people who are reading this every day. Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.